Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a source shaped by war, connection, and the unseen. We're exploring Anthony Doerr's incredible novel, All the Light We Cannot See.
Yeah, and our mission here is really to trace these threads, these hidden links between two young people caught up in World War II.
Two lives that seem completely separate at first.
Exactly. We want to see how their personal stories reflect bigger human experiences during that kind of global chaos, and how things like knowledge, or maybe even just radio waves, can connect people.
Okay, so let's dive in. Our first figure, Marie-Laure Leblanc. She's a young French girl in Paris.
Right. And critically, she becomes blind around age 6. Her sight just deteriorates rapidly.
And her father, Daniel Leblanc, he's got this really interesting job. He's the head locksmith at the Muséum National d'Histoire Naturelle in Paris.
Which sounds maybe a bit dry, but it's this place filled with keys, locks, secrets, and thousands upon thousands of natural specimens. It sets the stage for this theme of hidden things, doesn't it?
It really does. And because she's blind, Marie-Laure's world is, well, it's built differently. How does the book convey that?
Well, it immerses you in her senses. You experience Paris through her touch, like feeling the textures of tree bark or cool metal, through smell the specific sense of typewriter ribbons or waxed floors or even damp earth, humus.
And sound, too, right?
Oh, absolutely. The rumble of the metro beneath her feet, the way branches clack together in the wind, it's incredibly vivid.
And her father plays a key role here. He builds this miniature model.
Ah, yes, the model. It's amazing. An intricate, perfect scale model of their whole neighborhood, carved from wood, so she can learn the streets, the buildings, everything, just by touch.
So she can navigate independently. It's such a loving, ingenious act.
It really is. It's about giving her the tools to map her world, even when the larger world is about to become completely chaotic.
And her world isn't just the streets. She has this intellectual curiosity, too. She spends time at the museum in the mollusk lab.
Yes. Dr. Gefford's lab. She handles, like, thousands of shells. The book mentions over 10,000 specimens. She learns about incredible creatures, like the violet sea snail.
The one that builds a raft.
Yeah. It makes this raft out of bubbles to float across the ocean. It's a tiny detail, but it speaks to resilience, adaptation, finding ways to navigate vastness.
And she reads Jules Verne in Braille, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Right, imagining Captain Nemo's submarine, another self-contained world navigating the unseen depths. All these things, the shells, the model, the book, they show her focus, her ability to find wonder in contained, intricate spaces. Is her way of seeing.
Okay, so that's Marie-Laure's world. Now let's shift gears completely to Germany.
Right. And here we meet Werner Pfennig. His childhood couldn't be more different. He and his sister Jutta, they're orphans in a coal mining town, Zollverein.
Raised in a place called Children's House.
Yeah, and the description is just bleak.
Mm-hmm.
The constant sound of sick children coughing, the smell of gun oil hanging in the air. Poverty is intense. They eat cakes made of mustard powder because there's not enough food.
Such a stark contrast to Marie-Laure's museum visits and detailed models.
Absolutely. But then Werner has this moment, this discovery. He's 8 years old.
And he finds something in a trash heap.
Exactly. He finds this object, a cylinder wrapped in wire with an earphone. He thinks it might be a radio, but he doesn't really know.
He just figures it out.
He becomes obsessed, spends hours tinkering with it. First, he gets just static, this fizz, the book calls it. But then suddenly he hears voices, a stream of consonants.
Wow. So this is where his path starts to diverge.
This is the spark. It reveals his incredible, innate talent for electronics, for radios. Suddenly, he can pull sounds out of the air, invisible signals from far away.
What kind of sounds?
Well, at first, it's patriotic German stuff. Plays where the enemies are these awful caricatures, hook-nosed department store owners plotting terrible things against German children.
Mm-hmm.
Propaganda, basically. Yeah. But then he finds something else, a different broadcast. It's an old Frenchman talking about science, giving lessons.
Ah, that's a crucial connection forming already, isn't it? Though he doesn't know it yet.
Exactly. And Werner starts dreaming. He wants to be a scientist like Heinrich Hertz, the guy who proved radio waves exist, who made the invisible visible. Werner literally wishes he had eyes that could see those radio waves filling the sky.
So the radio is his escape, his window to a different world, but it's also tied to the machinery of the state he lives in.
Precisely. It offers a path out of the mines, but it's a path that will inevitably lead him into the heart of the Nazi regime. That tension is there right from the start.
Okay, so we have these two young people, their worlds shaped by senses, by curiosity, by technology. Now, the war starts looming larger. How does that impact them?
Well, for Marie-Laure, there's this growing sense of unease. She overhears talk, whispers about Germany. Her father tries to reassure her, there won't be a war.
But she feels it differently.
Yeah, her heightened senses pick up on something else. The novel says she senses gasoline under the wind, feels the approach of this great river of machinery. It's like she can perceive the threat atmospherically.
It's intuitive almost.
Very much so. And then, amidst this tension, this legendary object enters the story, the Sea of Flames diamond.
Right, the cursed diamond from the museum. Supposedly grants eternal life to the keeper, but brings misfortune to everyone around them.
Exactly. And her father, the locksmith, is given this incredibly dangerous task. Create 3 perfect replicas, 3 decoys, to confuse the Nazis who will inevitably come looking for it.
And he hides one of them.
He hides the real one, or perhaps one of the decoys. It's ambiguous for a long time, inside Marie-Laure's miniature model of Saint-Malo, a city they later flee to.
Wow. So he puts this immense burden, this secret, right into the heart of the tool he made to keep her safe.
It's a huge gamble. It ties her fate directly to this legendary, dangerous object, right as the world is falling apart.
Okay, so Marie-Laure is burdened with this secret. What about Werner? How does the approaching war shape his path?
For Werner, his talent with radios becomes his ticket out, but into what? He gets accepted into this elite, brutal Nazi military academy, Schulpforta.
The place designed for ordering chaos.
Right. And there, his perceived Aryan traits are literally measured. They do these ratiological exams, measuring his skull, noting his Himmelblau, sky blue eyes, his blonde, almost white hair. It's chilling.
So his scientific aptitude gets him noticed, but he's immediately sucked into this dehumanizing ideology.
And the moral conflict really ramps up there. He meets a boy named Frederick.
The bird lover.
Yes, Frederick. He's sensitive, gentle, obsessed with birds. He has a copy of Birds of America, knows their songs. The book says Frederick sees what other people don't. He absolutely doesn't fit the mold of the ideal soldier Schulpforta wants to create.
And Werner witnesses something terrible happen to him, doesn't he?
He does. Frederick refuses to participate in the torture of a captured prisoner specifically, throwing freezing water on him in winter. For this refusal, Frederick is savagely beaten by the other cadets, sustaining brain damage.
Oh, that's brutal. How does that affect Werner?
It shakes him profoundly. He sees the cruelty of the system firsthand, the destruction of someone gentle and unique. It plants this deep seed of doubt, of questioning the very ideology that's supposedly elevating him.
But his skills are still valued by the regime.
Highly valued and exploited. His professor, Dr. Hauptmann, basically tells him his work serves the state now. Hauptmann says a scientist's work is determined by 2 things: his interests and the interests of his time.
Meaning the interests of the Reich.
Exactly. Werner is put to work building advanced radio transceivers, tracking equipment. His mathematical genius is weaponized. And his connection to his sister, Judah, his moral compass in a way, starts to fray. His letters home come back heavily censored.
He's becoming isolated, trapped within the machine.
Completely. The promise of science, that pure curiosity he had as a boy fixing the radio, it's twisted into something dark.
So this leads them both eventually to the city of Saint-Malo.
Yes. Marie-Laure and her father flee Paris as the Germans advance. The harrowing journey on foot. They reach Saint-Malo, this old walled city on the coast of Brittany.
But safety is short-lived for her father.
Tragically, no. He's arrested by the Germans, suspected of resistance activities, partly because of his work at the museum and possibly his knowledge of the diamond. He disappears into the system, leaving Marie-Laure alone with her great-uncle, Etienne.
And Etienne is quite a character himself, right?
Oh, definitely. He's agoraphobic, hasn't left the house in years, terrified from his experiences in the First World War. He lives in this tall, narrow house filled with ghosts, essentially.
But something changes him.
Yes, his housekeeper, the pragmatic and brave Madame Manek. She sees the need for resistance against the occupation and gently, persistently draws Etienne out of his shell. She starts organizing a network, mostly women.
The bakers.
Right. They bake coded messages into loaves of bread. It's this quiet, domestic form of resistance. And she pushes Etienne too. She asks him really pointedly, "Don't you want to be alive before you die?"
Powerful words. And that leads him to the radio.
It does. He has this hidden shortwave transmitter up in the attic, a relic from years ago. Encouraged by Madame Manek and later by Marie-Laure, he starts broadcasting again.
What does he broadcast?
First, it's recordings of his deceased brother, those science lessons for children that Werner heard years ago. Then music, Debussy, eventually coded numbers for the resistance.
So that broadcast Werner heard as a boy, it's coming from this house.
Exactly. It's this incredible thread connecting them across time and space.
Yeah.
For Etienne and Marie-Laure, it's also a form of connection. They have this game Flying Couch, where they pretend the broadcasts transport them to faraway places. It's a way to keep imagination and hope alive.
Meanwhile, Werner is also heading to Semelo.
Yes, but under very different circumstances. He's now part of a specialized German army unit, tasked with tracking illegal radio signals. He's under the command of Sergeant Major Frank Volkheimer, this huge, imposing figure who Werner knew from Schulpforda.
So Werner is now the hunter looking for signals like the one Etienne is sending out.
Precisely. And there's another hunter in Samelo, Sergeant Major von Rumpel,
The gemologist.
the terminally ill gemologist, obsessed with finding the Sea of Flames diamond. He believes it can cure him. He's methodical, patient, ruthless, closing in on the real diamond or its decoys, house by house. He represents this cold, methodical evil.
Okay, so all these threads are converging on Semelo, right as the Allies are preparing to liberate it, which means bombing.
Intense bombing. August 1944, Samelo is devastated. Werner's unit takes shelter in the cellar of a hotel, the Hotel of Bees. And down there, amidst the explosions, Werner is scanning the frequencies.
And he hears it.
He hears it, clear as anything. The piano music, Debussy, and then the Frenchman's voice reading Jules Verne, maybe the science lessons. And the signal is strong. It's close. He realizes it's coming from a house maybe hardly 1 block away.
The same broadcast from his childhood. That must have been an incredible moment.
Absolutely. A moment of profound recognition. Everything clicks into place, the voice that inspired his love of science, now transmitting illegally in the city he's helping to besiege.
What does he do? His job is to report it.
He should. Volkheimer asks him if he's found the source. But Werner, he lies. He says the signal is gone, faded out. He deliberately misdirects them. It's an act of treason, technically.
He protects the broadcast.
It protects the broadcast, protects the memory,
Right.
protects that fragile connection to something pure from his past. But the war's horror doesn't stop. Shortly after, his unit tragically kills a civilian, a little girl hiding, mistaking her for someone concealing a radio. It's horrific. And for Werner, already reeling from Frederick's fate and his own complicity, this seems to be the final straw. It pushes him towards a breaking point.
So the bombing intensifies. Marie-Laure is trapped in Etienne's house.
Yes, Etienne has been arrested by this point. She's alone, hiding in the attic, relying on her memory, her senses, and that intricate wooden model of the city to understand what's happening outside as the bombs fall.
And Werner?
He's trapped too, initially, in the cellar of the Hotel of Bees after a collapse. But eventually, driven by the memory of the broadcast, by his guilt, maybe by a need to do something right, he manages to get out and makes his way through the ruined city towards the source of the signal.
Towards Etienne's house.
Towards Etienne's house,
Right.
where von Rumpel is also closing in, searching for the diamond.
And this is where they finally meet.
Yes. Werner finds the house, gets inside. Von Rumpel is there, menacing Marie-Laure. Werner intervenes. He finds Marie-Laure hidden in an old wardrobe, pulls her out just as von Rumpel might have found her. He essentially saves her life.
After all this time, their paths finally, physically cross in this moment of extreme danger.
And it's this strangely quiet, intense encounter amidst the destruction. She can't see him, obviously. He's just a voice, a presence.
Does she show him things?
She does. She shows him the attic, the transmitter, the source of the broadcasts. She plays one of her great-uncle's recordings for him. Werner sees the Birds of America book there, too, Frederick's book, which Etienne must have acquired somehow. It's another small, poignant connection.
And he gives her something.
He gives her a small iron key, a key to a hidden grotto by the seawall where she sometimes goes, where she keeps snails she collects. It's a small gesture of trust, maybe of hope.
But they can't stay together.
No. He knows being seen with a German soldier is dangerous for her. He tells her, "It will be better for you if no one sees you with me." They share this brief, charged moment, and then he helps her get out safely and leaves.
And what happens to Werner after that?
He's captured by the Allies shortly after leaving the house. He's weak, possibly injured, delirious. He ends up in a prisoner of war camp where he dies, quite mundanely it seems, perhaps from stepping on a landmine or from illness. The text leaves some ambiguity, but implies a quick, almost accidental end. Appendicitis is also mentioned as a possibility in some summaries, but the core idea is his death is sudden and unheroic after that one significant act.
Such a tragic end after everything.
It is. His potential, his internal conflict, extinguished. But the ripples continue. Years later, his sister Judah travels to St. Malo.
To find answers.
Yes, seeking some understanding of her brother's final days. She finds the city rebuilt almost seamlessly. The book notes there are no traces of bombings or craters, but also, significantly, no plaques for the Germans who died here. History's already being smoothed over, edited.
And she meets someone connected to Werner.
She eventually tracks down Frank Folkheimer, Werner's former commander. He's this giant of a man now, working with antennas, ironically, in post-war Germany. He gives Judah Werner's old duffel bag.
What's inside?
His belongings. Crucially, his childhood notebook. The one filled with his questions, his sketches, his scientific curiosity. And inside that, a sealed envelope addressed to Frederick, the friend from Schulpforta, the boy who sees what other people don't.
Wow. He never sent it.
Never sent it. It's this tangible piece of Werner's conscience, his enduring connection to Frederick's sensitivity.
And Marie-Laure, what becomes of her?
She survives, obviously. She becomes a scientist herself, specializing in mollusks, working at the same museum in Paris where her father worked. She has a daughter, Helene.
Does she still carry the past with her?
Oh, absolutely. She still lives in the same flat, still walks to the museum, still counts storm drains along the way, this echo of how she learned to navigate. Her father's fate is never fully resolved. He remains a name on lists, lost in the war. She reflects on how the war forced them all to grow up too soon.
And her memory of Werner?
She remembers him as a faint presence, someone she barely knew. But she also acknowledges that his soul glowed with some fundamental kindness. That brief encounter, his act of saving her, left a lasting imprint.
So looking back at this deep dive, it's really about these invisible connections, isn't it? Radio waves, memories, acts of kindness.
Exactly. How human connection, quiet resistance, even the pursuit of a mythical diamond, can shape lives in profound ways across vast distances and divides. The power of the intangible, a broadcast signal, a tiny snail's resilience becomes central to survival, to meaning.
It makes you think about all the unseen forces at play.
It really does. And the source material itself pushes this idea further, suggesting this deep interconnectedness that goes beyond what we normally perceive. It leaves you with this thought, really. In our world today, which is so saturated with invisible signals, data streams, information flying everywhere, is it really such a leap to imagine that maybe souls, memories, kindness can travel those same pathways?
That maybe, as the book hints, the record of every life lived, every word transmitted is still out there, reverberating.
Yeah. That maybe these great shuttles of souls are still flying about, faded but audible if you listen closely enough. It's a fascinating, almost mystical idea to ponder, stemming directly from the connections woven through this story.